welcome back to Middle-earth Quest. This is going to be Argalad's second turn. He is up here at the High Pass. And we have a bunch of things that, of course, are happening on the board. We have Mordor building up a lot. We have the Mouth of Sauron here. We have Dane 2 showing up over in the Grey Mountains area in the Iron Hills. So let's go over to Argalad's player area and begin his turn. Alright, so here's Argalad. Now he's got, of course, more cards than he had last time. He has 7 cards because he kept 2. The first thing on a hero turn, of course, is the rest action. So if he wanted to, he could take his cards in his rest pool, shuffle them into his life pool, but there's not many cards in the rest pool. He has a pretty good life pool and lots of cards in hand, so he's going to skip that and not do it. Of course, if the heroes do a rest step or a heal step at a haven, it means that one of Sauron's tokens, the leftmost token, must move 1 space towards the finale space. So resting allows Sauron's tokens to move, so try not to do it if we don't have to. So I'm going to gather up Argalad's cards in hand, and we're going to move to the main board, and he's going to start doing his moves. Alright, so Argalad up in the High Pass, and I have gathered up his cards from his hand, and he has lots of options this time. The first thing after the rest step for heroes is the ambush step, but there are no minions or monsters in his space. So now we can go to the travel step. And at the very beginning of the travel step, I haven't really mentioned this before, is you can ignore the combat and peril and go right to an explorer here. So he is going to explore, and he's going to take that favor token that's just sitting there that showed up from last time. And I should also mention his quest is to get down here to Fangorn. So he is at the High Pass, and let's start spending his cards. So he's going to spend the first card here, which is a mountain card. That allows him to travel to the Gladden Fields. And I know everyone's wondering, why did I not move Mouth of Sauron here to block him? And I don't know, maybe Sauron's got something up his sleeve. We'll find out on Sauron's turn. Alright, and so his next movement is going to be hill space, and with that he's going to move down to Lothlorien, and then he's going to spend a forest card, and he's going to get to Fangorn. And in Fangorn he's going to explore. He has 4 cards left. Now let's take a look at his quest, because that is his quest to go to Fangorn. And he is now going to complete it. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so Argalad in Fangorn, and he is going to complete his starting quest. And it's They Have Become Queer and Wild. Argalad advanced cautiously through the twilight trees. Thranduil's concerns proved well-founded. A creeping darkness had found its way into Fangorn. So he's exploring Fangorn, so he gets his reward. And his reward is to gain 2 favor and receive training. All right. So Argalad now has a total, he's going to collect 2, he has a total of 3 favor, and he is going to get some training. So same as Eleanor, with training you take the skill deck, we take the 2 cards off the top, and Argalad is going to get the choice, and they're both melee cards, of one of them. So one is Hamstring, 2 attack, 2 defense. If you deal at least 1 damage, place the top card of your opponent's deck on the bottom of his combat stack. So you can change the order of his combat stack, or change the cards in his combat stack. And the other one is Crushing Blow, no defense, 2 attack. If your opponent's printed defense is 1 or lower, gain +2 attack and cancel his card. So one costs 3 strength to play, the other's 2. I think he is going to take Crushing Blow. So that goes directly into his hand, and the other one goes to the bottom of the skill deck, possibly be recycled later on. Okay, and continuing on with his with the reward for his quest. So he gained 2 favor, he received training. Then place Thranduil in the Woodland Realm and reveal Argalad's advanced quest. Okay. So he's completed that one, and we're going to find Thranduil, who is right here. And what does he do for us? If you encounter him, you can either gain 2 favor or remove 2 influence from the shadow pool. So he is going to be placed right up here in the woodland realm. All right, another character to interact with. And now let's have a look at Argalad's Advanced Quest, which is the blue-backed card. Argalad Advanced Quest, Echoes of Bolg's Army. Argalad remembered well the army of orcs that had marched from Gundabad to the Battle of 5 Armies, appropriate right now with the movie going on. It was rumored that the drums of war had started to pound under the vile mountain once more. So he needs to go explore Mount Gundabad, and he'll get a reward of gaining 2 favor or 1 level of fortitude. Then force Sauron to discard a random shadow card from his hand. So if he wants, his next quest now is to go all the way up here to Mount Gundabad and explore that perilous location. Okay, he still, though, has a bunch of cards in hand and can continue to do more things. And he is indeed going to spend the forest card here into his rest pool, and he's going to move over to the plot token marker in Isengard. And as part of the Explorer here now, he is going to shut this down. So he's going to take this off the board, and we're going to take a look at the starting plot of Sauron. And it is Saruman hungry for power, and to get rid of this plot off the plot tower for Sauron, we spend 3 favor tokens. And Argalad just happens to have 3 favor tokens. He is spending those, and that starting plot is discarded, which means it's put back in the box. And now Argalad still has 4 cards left. And what is he going to do? He knows he has to head back north, so I think he is going to spend the Sun card here to move down to the Gap of Rohan, and then he's going to spend the 2 Tree of Gondor cards, because it's a 2 here, to move up to Dunland, where he will then explore and collect that favor token. So he's had a very good turn, and he's kept his special card, Crushing Blow, which of course is going to go back in his hand. Okay, and these cards here, of course, go into his rest pool. So, now that he's finished all of his movement and all of his explorers, he gets an encounter. And he is now in a yellow location. He's in the Enedwaith location, so we're going to look at the Enedwaith and Eriador deck, and we're going to take, of course, the top 3 cards. From that, we are going to look at them and find out which ones apply. So he is not in Tharbad, he is in Dunland, so this is not going to apply any location, and he's not in Bree. So the only card that's going to imply is the Any Location card, and it says The Ranger. So he has an encounter here. It says, I was weary and at ill temper when he found me. He had traveled far, his gray eyes and green robes worn from years and many toils. He spoke with surprising vigor. That which was Arnor still has promise for those with strong heart. Will you come? Shuffle your rest pool into your life pool, or spend 1 favor to move immediately to Fornost and encounter that location. So he could move to Fornost right now, which is up here, right here. Takes him kind of out of the way, or he can shuffle his rest pool into his life pool. I think he's going to do that. He's going to shuffle. He's going to take the first option, which is shuffle your rest pool into your life pool. And so that was a pretty decent encounter. So he is going to do that. All right, let's go back to his character area. We will get shuffling his rest cards into his life pool. And I think Argalad has finally had a pretty decent turn, shutting down one of Sauron's plots and completing his own quest. All right, let's go to his character area and complete the video. Okay, I gotta say, pretty good turn for Argalad. So we're gonna take his rest pool cards and his life pool cards, and we are going to shuffle them all together, making his life pool. So that's really awesome. He's got his new advanced quest, which means go to Mount Gundabad, which of course is a perilous location. And I don't know if I mentioned before, but there are some locations on the board like Moria, Mount Gundabad, Barad-dûr, and Dol Guldur that are always perilous. It doesn't matter if there's influence tokens on them or not. They have a spiky border around them, and they are always perilous for our heroes. Okay, shuffled the life pool. He's got a huge stack now. This is good. So a good turn for Argalad, making up for his almost inability to get out of his woodland realm before. We have now 3 characters on the board. We have Dane 2, Thranduil, and Boromir. So up next, of course, Sauron gets to go again, and we'll see if he has some more evil things afoot for our 2 heroes. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Join me next time for Sauron Turn 3.